Hello everybody and welcome to the latest Mouth Off episode. Now in the last 2 or 3 episodes of this Mouth Off series we didn't actually say that this is called Mouth Off, but it's called the HeyUGuys Mouth Off, and if you haven't seen the Goonies then you should have done, and if you have you'll know why it's called the Mouth Off. It's a clever name that we came up with years back. Today I am joined by the wonderful John Lyus.
Hello, bonjour everyone.
And the wonderful Scott J. Davis.
Hello.
Scott J. Davis. Do you like to be called Scott J. Davis, or are you Scott
I do
Davis?
Actually.
Yeah.
I do actually. It
Your...
differentiates me from everybody else.
That's it, which is an important thing. Although there's only one Scott Davis and J. Davis, in my humble opinion. But anyway, that aside, because 52 seconds have elapsed and we haven't talked about anything, today we're going to talk about Coco, which, I'm reliably informed, is the sequel to Coco Before Chanel. John, is that correct?
I'm not even going to get in with you on that joke. You're on your own there, mate.
Coco.
Throwing you under the bus. But yeah, this is the latest one from Pixar.
Disney
with
Pixar.
Lee Unkrich and Darla Anderson and Adrian Molina, who I think worked on Toy Story 3.
Is he
and
Alfred
it looks...
Molina's brother?
I would hope so. But we got the first trailer for this today, and it looks utterly fantastic. Does anyone know what this is actually about?
I believe it's about the Day of the Dead, and so we've been looking forward to this for a while. We've talked about it internally about what it is, and I wasn't really sure what to expect. And after watching the trailer today, I just had goosebumps. The first sort of 30 seconds, I think it's 2 minutes long. The first 30 seconds, I thought, I don't really get it. Where's this going? You know, is this going to be a Pixar classic? And then as soon as the Day of the Dead bits start, I had like epic goosebumps down my back. How about you guys?
Yeah, I enjoyed it. I thought it was great. I look forward to seeing it. Some of the imagery towards the end, like you say, was spectacular, as you would expect from Pixar. But I like that it's a kind of another nice original tale from them. You know, it's not a sequel to anything. It's always nice to see. That's a good image. Look at that.
Yeah, I'll screen cap
like
that. My favourite image though was this shot. The computer power.
So pleased.
The computer power to get that must have been insane.
It's not just that. I mean, that's the perfect blend of like visual imagination and computer artistry to get that moment, because it earns it absolutely 100%. And that was the jaw-dropping moment. Imagine how good that's going to look on the big screen. That's going to look immense.
Yeah, I'm with you. And the music, I don't know who did actually. We should find.
I'm not sure, but I think it is going to play a huge part in it, because it's not just the day that it's the land of the dead. And this dude here, Miguel, who's 12 years old, and he kind of uncovers a family connection to one of his heroes. But let's be honest, it looks beautiful. It's Pixar. They know what they're doing, and it's an original Pixar film, which is what we're looking for.
Lee and Darla are the two people. So Darla is the lady on the left in that photo. Lee is the guy on the right, and they directed and produced Toy Story 3, which in my opinion is probably the best Toy Story. We were fortunate enough to meet them way back when, to go on a set visit for Toy Story 3, and so those two know what they're doing. He won a BAFTA. I think he won the Oscar as well that year for Toy Story 3, and it was just deserved. So we were lucky enough to speak to the amazing John Lasseter, who's the creative director for Disney and Pixar at the BAFTA Awards. There's Scott chatting to him now, where he showed us his amazing shirt, which has got a character from every single film that he's made, which is we really want that shirt, but sadly it's not available. You can catch that interview on our YouTube channel or on the website as per usual. So let us know in the comments of this video what you think of Coco. Do you think it's going to be the next Pixar hit? Do you think it's a bit dark, or do you think that kids are just going to love it? We're really interested to know what you think, so let us know in the comments below. So John, moving on, what else are we talking about today?
Is it the Matrix one we're talking about?
It is, look, there it is, because I've got an image ready. This
is the news that Warner Brothers are going back to the well for a Matrix reboot. Now, this is something that we haven't heard of before, but it seems that time enough has passed since the last Matrix film, and we are getting the Matrix rebooted. No one from the original film, as far as we know.
The Matrix rebooted?
No. It should be called. It really should be called. Or you Matrix 2.0, or they might not even bother. The thing that I can't work out is, are they going to go for a complete reboot, or are they just going to have another film set in the world, which seems to be what most people are doing these days. They're building their worlds and they're setting them in there. Personally, I can't wait to see something else set in the world, because if you saw the Animatrix, it was a collection of animated stories set in the Matrix world, and actually some of them were really fantastic. So it shows that this world that they've created and this idea is fantastic, and there's a lot more stories to tell. But what do you guys think? Do you think this is worthy of another go around?
I don't know. I'm still scarred from the sequels, if I'm honest. Still scarred from that. I mean, you're right. It is something that could quite easily be turned into one of these universes again. But I'm getting a bit sick of these universes. Truth be told, they're doing it now with Kong. Now they're bringing back the Matrix and doing something different. I mean, visually it could be good, but if it's not going to be the Wachowskis, then or Keanu or those guys, then I'm not really interested. However,
it's a lot to live up for, isn't it?
I can see why Warner Brothers want to do it, and obviously with what's going on with the kind of DC movies and stuff like that, they would maybe need to get another franchise kind of kick-started, and this one, even though the sequels weren't particularly good, they always played well and got good numbers box office wise. So we shall see. But not too keen about the news.
We're seeing a lot of these sort of things go to TV. So recently, Lethal Weapon series started. 24's been rebooted again. Obviously, Star Wars has come back in the last sort of 3 years, is it? Maybe we should just get used to seeing this. I mean, we all say Hollywood's run out of ideas, but actually, do the fans want to see these universes expanded? Like the Marvel Cinematic Universe, people can't get enough of it. They make billions of dollars for the studios, so maybe it's just an easy card for them to play.
True, and look at Mad Max, for example. That had two, not brilliant sequels, and it came back with Fury Road. So if they've got a good idea and they can do something more with the world, then, I'm all for it, frankly.
Red pill, blue pill, that's the question. So yeah, again, let us know in the comments what you think. Do you think Matrix should be left alone? Does it need rebooting? Do you want to see Neo back again with all of his buddies? Or do you just think that it needs to be left alone and Hollywood needs to think up some original ideas? Do let us know in the comment section below.
So at the end, we're going to do, on these shows, we're going to do a quick summing up of some of the other news that is making headlines over the last couple of days. The first one, the biggest one probably over the last couple of days, is that Matthew Vaughn is apparently in talks, or he's been eyed up to direct Man of Steel 2. John, what do you think of the potential here?
Love Matthew Vaughn, love everything he's done. Big fan of Kick-Ass as well. I think what DC really need to do is bring in some new blood, and I think he'd have an excellent take. He'd give it a bit more humour as well. So yeah, fully behind the Vaughn.
Dave, what do you think?
It would be a very, very different film, which I'd be happy with. It wouldn't fit in with any of the other DC stuff. So Warner Brothers. So I just slightly worried that he'd have to pander to Warner Brothers' needs, and I think with him, if he's going to be asked to do it, he'd need to go his own way.
He was linked with it in 2010, I think, when David Goyer, his pitch won. He doesn't like the idea of making a Superman movie like a Batman movie, so I think it would be very much back to kind of Dick Donner-esque kind of Superman, which I think is what I think we all want to see.
I think we all want to see Superman 3 again. Let's be honest. Big fan of that. Robot Woman, Richard Pryor. Yeah, that'd
Superman
be great.
4.
Richard Pryor.
No. There is no Superman 4. There is no Superman 4.
And also next up, another remake. We've talked about remakes with The Matrix. The Fly is apparently being remade for a third time. I think it's the third time, yeah. He's directed a Sundance hit called Slight. J.D. Dillard. John, what do you think about another version of The Fly?
Well, I don't know, because the 80s one was a seminal moment for sort of body horror. It was time that David Cronenberg sort of really cemented his position as a crazy and wonderful visionary filmmaker. The 50s version gave me absolute nightmares. I can still see the bit at the end with the tiny dude's head on the fly going, help me, or whatever. And it freaked me out for months, right? And the thing is, in the 50s and in the 80s, The Fly had its moment. Now, I think if you're going to do it, it'd have to be, gene splicing. They would have to work that in some way. But they could definitely do it, but they'd have to overcome not the original one or the 50s one, but the 80s one, because that is so synonymous now with, classic Cronenberg. You'd have to do something pretty special to overcome that.
Dave, what do you think?
I have seen The Fly, but years back, so I don't have that romantic connection to it, which maybe is why we get so frustrated with these reboots, because we do have romantic connections to them. So with this, I'm not bothered either way, to be honest. Although I'm just googling some of these images, and I'm slightly terrified.
To be honest with you, I think that any romantic connection with The Fly is probably a bad idea.
Look at that.
But,
there he is.
Nasty, but again, it's
Brundlefly.
Yeah, wonderful.
Jeff Goldblum transitioning into The Fly. Look, clever, isn't
it?
Do you know, actually, if they did it practically and they got someone like what's Walking Dead man, Greg Nicotero in, go for it. This is where they excel.
Yeah.
So
I think you
CG
could be right.
might work, otherwise it would be a Green Lantern. Cool.
It
And
could be.
finally,
what's that?
what's our final thing, Scotty?
And the final thing is, it's just been announced, is that Edward James Olmos is back in Blade Runner 2049 as Gaff. Obviously, he was in the original, and he's had to keep it quiet until now. And now they've revealed that he's back in the new movie with Harrison Ford. So
what I'm keep quiet is I've never seen Blade Runner all the way through.
Oh,
What?
no.
That's it. I'm sorry. There are some things in life that you just have to do, and I don't think I can work with you until you go and see every different cut of Blade Runner.
Yeah,
there might be 500 words on which one was the best. No, it's one. I mean, the thing is, this is a wonderful piece of news because it cements the links to the original film once again. The thing about Blade Runner is it never had any sequels. It never had anything that was sort of in the middle to kind of spoil the soup, if you like. So we have Harrison Ford as a link to the original, and who knows what else we're going to see. Obviously, Ridley Scott's on board. I think that I love Edward James Olmos. I think his part in the original film was small, but it was perfectly formed. The fact that he's back could just be another nostalgic nod to the fans. But I think if they're going to use him, hopefully they'll use him to sort of deepen the story of not only the sequel but also the original, because there's a lot of things to be said here about time moving on. Each of the cuts are worth your time, but I think the final cut is probably the best. The one that was released about 50 times. Scott, what do you reckon about this? Are you looking forward to Blade Runner 2049?
A few years ago, I was not, but since then, obviously, director is a big plus. And after seeing his movies, including Arrival, I'm very excited. And obviously, having someone like Gosling in there as well is good. And it's got some really good cast in it. Jared Leto's in it, Robin Wright's in it, and now obviously Edward James Olmos is back. There he is. He does say on the news report, he does say that it is a small role, so it's obviously very similar to what it was in the first Blade Runner.
Fine.
But
that's fun.
It's cool that he's in it, and it obviously, as you say, it gives a nice link, another link, should we say, to the original, which is good. So I'm more and more excited. And I've seen that trailer. I was just like, yep, I need it.
Sold.
I need it right now.
Yeah.
I am sold. And there we go. There's not a lot else apart from the fact that Batman's been delayed a little bit, but hey. That's
who cares?
That's another day. It's gonna come at some point.
DC don't care.
DC don't care. I do when it comes to the Batman. I do. But,
that's good.
Only if Christopher Nolan's involved. I guess he's still producing.
Yeah.
Cool. So that's the end of this Mouth Off, episode 4, like Star Wars. Do let us know what you think of these. We hope to start doing them hopefully every day if you like them. So let us know in the comments below. As always, you can subscribe on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram and YouTube, and we are at HeyUGuys.com, and we'll see you next time on Mouth Off. Take care.
Au revoir.
Bye.
Bye.
Ladies and gentlemen, you're watching Hey You Guys!
Hey You Guys, huh?
Hey, you guys.
Is that from the Goonies?
It is indeed, yeah.
Nice.